World events in 1822. America. May 4th, President James Monroe signed an act of Congress appropriating $100,000 to officially recognize and establish diplomatic missions to the newly independent nations of Latin America. A massive, sophisticated slave insurrection planned for July 14th in Charleston was betrayed. City authorities arrested Denmark Vesey and over 130 others. Vesey and 34 other black men were hanged. In the aftermath, South Carolina passed severe laws strictly restricting the movement and education of enslaved people and free people of color. September 27th, Joseph Marion Hernández was elected to the U.S. Congress as the territorial delegate for Florida, making him the first Hispanic-American elected to the United States Congress. November 9th, in an effort to secure merchant shipping lanes, the USS Alligator engaged and defeated a fleet of 3 pirate schooners off the coast of Cuba. Canada. British bureaucrats and merchants in Lower Canada formally petitioned the British Parliament in London to unite Upper and Lower Canada. Their goal was to create an English-speaking majority to solve long-standing financial disputes and assimilate French Canadians. This sparked significant backlash. The Canada Trade Act, British North America Trade Act passed by the British Parliament. This act regulated interprovincial and international trade. It also granted the Lieutenant Governor permanent authority to open and close ports of entry. Indigenous land transfer. On July 8th, the Chippewa Nation ceded a huge tract of land in Ontario to the United Kingdom. Settlement initiatives. Chief Archibald MacNab arrived in Upper Canada from Scotland to flee his creditors, eventually securing a massive land grant on the Madawaska River to establish a Scottish settlement. Mexico. January 5th. The provinces of Central America, covering modern-day Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, officially proclaimed their annexation to the Mexican Empire, creating a massive territory. May 19th, following pressure from his supporters and the military, the Transitory Revolutionary Congress proclaimed Agustin de Iturbide as the constitutional emperor of Mexico, taking the title Augustin I. July 21st. Iturbide was officially crowned in a lavish ceremony at the Mexico City Metropolitan Cathedral. October 31st, citing political gridlock and opposition, Emperor Iturbide dismissed the National Congress and replaced it with an appointed 45-man governing junta. December 2nd, General Antonio López de Santa Anna issued the Plan of Veracruz, demanding the overthrow of the empire and the establishment of a republic. December 12th, the United States officially recognized Mexico as an independent nation. Brazil. January 9, 1822, Dia do Fico. Yielding to a massive petition from the Brazilian elite, Prince Regent Dom Pedro publicly defied orders from the Portuguese Cortes, Parliament, to return to Lisbon. February 1822. The Brazilian War of Independence effectively began as armed military units loyal to Portugal and Brazilian separatist forces clashed. Fighting took place across the northern, northeastern, and southern regions of the country. May 1822. Dom Pedro took another crucial step by decreeing that any decrees issued by the Portuguese government required his approval before being enforced in Brazil. August 1822. Dom Pedro formally declared Portugal's Cortes and their attempt to subjugate Brazil as enemies, asserting total sovereignty. September 7, 1822. O Grito do Ipiranga. While traveling in São Paulo near the Ipiranga River, Dom Pedro received word that Portugal had annulled his powers. He famously drew his sword, ripped off the Portuguese blue and white ribbon from his uniform, and proclaimed, Independencia ou morte, independence or death, effectively declaring Brazil's independence. October 12, 1822. Dom Pedro was officially acclaimed and crowned as Dom Pedro I, the first emperor of the newly established Empire of Brazil. Argentina. July 26th, the Guayaquil Conference. General José de San Martín, the great liberator of Argentina, Chile, and Peru, met with Simón Bolívar in Guayaquil, Ecuador. Following closed-door meetings, San Martín unexpectedly resigned his military command, leaving Bolívar to complete the liberation of Peru. San Martín returned to Argentina shortly thereafter. Colombia. May 24th, Battle of Pichincha. Patriot forces secured independence for the territories of Quito, which subsequently joined the Gran Colombia Republic. December 24th, the Black Christmas of Pasto, Navidad Negra. After a fierce campaign to bring the royalist city of Pasto into the Republic, the city fell to the Patriot Army. The military occupation resulted in a brutal massacre of civilians by the occupying forces. International recognition. The United States became the first foreign power to officially recognize the sovereignty of Gran Colombia, formally receiving its diplomatic representative in Washington. South Africa. Displacement in the interior. Around 1822, the Amangwain crossed the Drakensberg Mountains and entered the Caledon River Valley, pushing other groups forward and triggering the Bafokeng across the region. Concurrently, Zwangendaba, a prominent unit leader in Shaka's Zulu army, began leading groups of people away from the war zone, migrating north. Linguistic changes in the Cape Colony. British Governor Lord Charles Somerset enacted a decree abolishing the Dutch language in the civil service and courts of the Cape Colony, replacing it with English. Judicial case in the Cape. In a rare and historic ruling, Wilhelm Gebhardt, a white farmer near Paarl, was sentenced to death for the fatal flogging of an enslaved man named Joris, marking one of the few known instances of such an execution in the Cape Colony. Ghana. February 28, 1822. Sir Charles McCarthy arrived at Cape Coast. Under his leadership, the British Crown took over the forts and possessions of the defunct African Company of Merchants, directly involving Britain in the coastal disputes between the British-aligned Fanti and the inland Ashanti. Launch of the first newspaper. A few days after taking office, Governor McCarthy launched the Royal Gold Coast Gazette, marking the introduction of the first newspaper in the territory. Egypt. Decoding the Rosetta Stone. On September 27, 1822, French scholar Jean-François Champollion announced he had successfully cracked the code of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics using the Rosetta Stone. By realizing the script was phonetic rather than just symbolic, he unlocked the ability to read ancient Egyptian history, forever revolutionizing Egyptology. Conquest of Sudan and the murder of Ismail Pasha. Operating as a semi-autonomous province of the Ottoman Empire under the rule of Muhammad Ali, Egypt expanded its territory southward into Sudan between 1820 and 1822. In October 1822, this campaign took a dramatic turn when Ismail Pasha, Muhammad Ali's son and military commander, was burned to death alongside his retinue by Nimr, the local king of Shindi. In response, Muhammad Ali's forces exacted severe retribution, and the city of Khartoum was founded during this era of expanding Egyptian control. Iran. The Battle of Erzurum, January 1822. Crown Prince Abbas Mirza led an Iranian army of 30,000 troops into Ottoman Anatolia, clashing with a 50,000-man Ottoman force. The Persian military successfully occupied parts of western Armenia and surrounding Anatolian territories. Failed British occupation of Keshem. British forces occupied Keshem Island in the Persian Gulf to curb regional piracy and even signed an abortive agreement granting Britain a 5-year lease. The British government in Bombay ultimately disavowed the treaty and withdrew their forces. Diplomatic crisis with Britain. The British envoy to Iran, Sir Henry Willock, fled Tehran in April 1822 after Fath Ali Shah threatened to execute him over unpaid British subsidies that the Shah had won from Crown Prince Abbas Mirza in a card game. This prompted diplomatic fallout and prompted Iran to send diplomat Mirza Muhammad Saleh Shirazi to London to resolve the dispute. Turkey. The Chios Massacre, March, April 1822. Following a revolt by Greek islanders, Ottoman troops landed on the island of Chios. The ensuing devastation left up to 100,000 Greeks killed or enslaved, while thousands of survivors were forced to flee. This brutal suppression caused immense outrage across the Western world. Burning of the Ottoman flagship, June 18, 1822. In direct retaliation for the Chios massacre, Greek fire ships deliberately set fire to the flagship of the Ottoman navy off the coast of Chios. The explosion killed approximately 2,000 Ottoman personnel, including Capodan Pasha Nezuhadi Ali Pasha. The 1822 Aleppo earthquake, August 13, 1822. A massive earthquake, felt over a large area stretching from Rhodes to Cyprus, struck the region. It devastated northern parts of the empire, including what is now the Hatay province in modern Turkey, leading to an estimated 20,000 to 60,000 casualties across the broader region. China. The Great Fire of Canton. On November 1, 1822, a massive fire, sparked accidentally by a baker melting sugar, swept through the southern port city of Guangzhou. Fanned by strong winds, the conflagration burned for 3 days, destroying over 15,000 houses and 70 streets, leaving 50,000 people homeless and burning down the foreign trade district known as the 13 Factories. Trade halt with Britain. Rising diplomatic tensions between the Qing government and Great Britain culminated in December 1822. Following an incident where British sailors were accused of killing Chinese citizens, the Viceroy of Canton halted all trade with England, ordering resident agents and merchants to immediately quit the country. Korea. Reign of King Sunjo. King Sunjo attempted various government and social reforms to combat local unrest and corruption. However, the era struggled with socio-economic disparities that later culminated in the late 19th century peasant revolutions. Japan. The Edo earthquake swarm. Over a 3-day period, the city of Edo, now Tokyo, was shaken by approximately 150 earthquake tremors. First cholera pandemic. A devastating wave of cholera reached Japan, likely spreading from China through the Ryukyu Islands to Kyushu and then crossing into Honshu. While it claimed tens of thousands of lives in western Japan, it notably failed to reach Edo. Australia. March 1st. The Macquarie Harbour Penal Station was established on the remote west coast of Van Diemen's Land, Tasmania, as a place of secondary punishment for repeat offenders. April, May. Explorers Alexander Berry and Hamilton Hume embarked on a major expedition to map the Shoalhaven River and Illawarra regions south of Sydney. July 5th. The Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales was founded, marking the beginnings of organized agricultural development. India. Mahawari system introduced. The British East India Company introduced the Mahawari system of land revenue in northern India, spearheaded by Holt Mackenzie. Journalism milestones. Reformer Raja Ram Mohan Roy launched Miratul Akhbar, the first journal published in Persian, and co-launched the Bengali newspaper Bangadata alongside Varkanath Tagore. Ramosi Uprising. The Ramosi tribe in the Pune region, under the leadership of Chutter Singh, revolted against British administration due to economic hardships and loss of influence. We hope you have enjoyed watching the video. Thank you for watching.